Welcome to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher along with BNEWS Director Rich Hosford, BNEWS reporters Chris Flaherty, Robert Paris, Peter Brown with the weather, Matt DiMarzio with sports, and Ian Casciola with the Community Bulletin Board. Thank you for joining us. The government of Bermuda has filed a federal lawsuit against Lahey Health, alleging that the Lahey both bribed and conspired with a former Bermuda leader to gain preferable treatment on the island. The lawsuit was filed by Bermuda's Attorney General Trevor Moniz on February 14th in a federal court in Boston. In the suit, the government of Bermuda alleges that leadership at Lahey conspired with former Bermuda Premier Dr. Ewart Brown. It says that over 2 decades, Lahey conspired with Brown to design and perpetuate an unlawful enterprise fueled by Lahey's payment of bribes to Brown disguised as consulting fees. In return, the lawsuit alleges Lahey gained numerous benefits and opportunities for profit from Brown and the government of Bermuda, this making Lahey the preferred health care provider for residents on the government's insurance and government employees. The suit also says that Brown himself had clinics that would perform unnecessary MRI and CT scans that would be read and interpreted by Lahey staff members. The fees for the tests were paid by the patient's insurance or government programs. The government of Bermuda said that both Lahey and Brown made millions of dollars with these unneeded tests. The lawsuit says that Bermuda now has among the highest users of MRI and CT scans in the world. At the time of this publication, calls to Lahey's communication department had not been returned, though a representative did speak to the Boston Business Journal for a piece on the lawsuit. In that interview, hospital spokesman Christopher Murphy said he was confident that the suit lacked merit. He also said that Lahey provides high-quality care to Bermuda residents at a lower cost than other international health care providers on the island. There are a lot of details to this story, and you can read a longer piece on our website at www.bcattv.org/bnews. A man was arrested in Burlington after leading Bedford police on a car and foot chase that ended in a river. The Bedford Police Department said in a release that on Friday, February 17th at 8:20, an officer on patrol on Middlesex Turnpike saw a vehicle drive by at a high rate of speed headed towards Burlington. The officer attempted to conduct a motor vehicle stop, but when the driver failed to stop, a brief pursuit occurred. Police say the driver weaved through traffic and ran a red light before pulling into the parking lot of Pure Hockey at 240 Middlesex Turnpike in Burlington. He then exited from this vehicle and fled into the woods. Bedford police, now assisted by Burlington police, set up a perimeter and began searching the area. Police say the suspect, Kevin Latraverse, 33 of Gloucester, was found in a river in the woods behind Pure Hockey. That's actually a stream. Bedford police, with help from the Burlington Canine Unit, ordered Latraverse from the water. He was evaluated by the Burlington Fire Department and then placed under arrest by Bedford police. Latraverse was charged with operating a vehicle under the influence of liquor, reckless operation of a motor vehicle, failure to stop for a police officer, and speeding. He was booked by the Bedford Police Department and then released on bail. Some would question his decision to jump in the water in February. Last Thursday, the Burlington Public Library hosted an evening with Tony Funches, former lead singer of the Platters. It was a fun-filled evening of music and laughter, and BNews reporter Chris Flaherty was there to take it all in. He files this report.
While libraries are typically calm, quiet places, last Thursday night, the Burlington Library was everything but. Instead of people sitting quietly reading books, they were clapping, dancing, and singing along with special guest Tony Funches, former lead singer of the Platters.
Well, I got my start, as a kid, growing up in Columbia Point in Dorchester. I used to sing in local groups, and that's pretty much where it started. I just always studied everybody who was good. If I found them interesting, I mimicked them, I copied them, and then over the years, opportunities began to come my way, and I just horned in on them. I practice, and I do a lot of shows. You know, repetition is what will make you a good vocalist. If you want to be a strong vocalist, it's just like lifting weights. These are muscles in here, and when they get strong, your diaphragm, that's where opera and all that comes in from repetition.
Tony's performance featured many crowd favorites from various artists and generations of music. But just how does he choose which songs to sing?
My people, I can look at you and tell. If I sing a song and I don't see you moving around and feeling the song, I can look at you and tell if you know the song or not. Because if you do it and you're doing like that, I know you know that song. But if you're sitting there, then I know that you better go in the other direction. The same thing with talking to people. You know, you can look at some people and they look like, can I say hi to you? And then you can look at some other people and they look like, look, go on over there. I don't want to be bothered. And you have to just be an entertainer and not let that offend you.
At one point in the evening, Tony even got one audience member to take the mic for a duet.
Great for fine, going home.
I'm not crazy for crying, and crazy for lying, and I'm crazy for loving you.
I asked Tony how he felt the music industry has changed over time.
It's a major change. I mean, you don't have what I would call real entertainers anymore. Unfortunately, I don't mean to offend anybody out there in TV land, but most of the entertainers now hide behind a rhythm and a track. You'll never have another Sammy Davis, Jackie Wilson, a Nat King Cole, you know, Frank Sinatra. You'll never have that ever again, unfortunately. I'm just sad to see a lot of things that are going on and changing in the world, but I'm glad to do my part.
Finally, I asked Tony how the Burlington crowd compares to other audiences.
I have to tell you, and this is all honesty, and not just because I'm on camera, but I think that the Burlington crowd, they're very, very kind and very happy. They're a generous crowd. The participation was great. And the most important thing is that when you sing, that you sing for the people. It's not about how great you sing, it's your intention. If you show love, people are going to feel that.
Okay, folks, that's another one in the books from me, but I'm going to let Tony wrap this one up.
Until next time, this is Chris Flaherty from BCAT News Weekend, and I love you, I love you. This is Chris Flaherty, and I'm gone.
The deadline to return papers with the necessary signatures from Burlington residents to enter the 2017 town election passed on Tuesday, and now we know which races will be competitive. Unfortunately, not enough. The 3 townwide seats that will be competitive are town moderator, 1 open seat on the Board of Selectmen, and 1 open seat on the Recreation Commission. In the town moderator race, incumbent Sally Willard is running, as is challenger William Byer, a former member of the Ways and Means Committee. The seat on the Board of Selectmen has 3 challengers: James Tigges, a detective with the Burlington Police Department and a member of the ZBA; Joan Kennedy Constant, an attorney and town meeting member and Ways and Means member; and Virginia Mooney, a former member of the board and current town meeting member. The seat is being left vacant by Selectman Daniel Grattan, who announced earlier this year he would not be seeking a third term. Recreation Commission incumbent Kevin Sullivan is being challenged by Timothy Burke. No other townwide races, including the 2 seats up for school committee and the 2 seats up for planning board, will be contested on the ballot. Town meeting has competitive races in precincts 1, 3, 4, 6, and 7. Visit www.bcattv.org/BNews for a list of all the candidates. The Burlington Public Library had a large crowd to watch a husband and wife duo perform impressive tricks with yo-yos, hula hoops, and other props. BNews reporter Robert Paris was there and has this report.
A performing duo had an audience wrapped around their fingers like a string of a yo-yo as they performed tricks with, you guessed it, yo-yos. At the Burlington Public Library on Wednesday morning, the yo-yo people are John and Rebecca Higbee, a husband and wife duo who perform cool and amazing yo-yo tricks for all ages. John and Rebecca have performed at a variety of venues throughout the world, including multiple countries, the David Letterman Show, Disney World, and last week at the Burlington Public Library. Many children and parents watched as the yo-yo duo blew their minds away with their amazing act. John and Rebecca did not start off as a partners in crime couple. John began swinging the strings on his own.
I started first. I did a solo show, and then I met Rebecca, got her into the show.
Yeah, and I just worked at a toy store and saw John once a week. He'd come in and teach kids how to yo-yo. And and then I just sort of joined the show slowly, and here I am.
With all the amazing tricks and treats that go on in their performances, John and Rebecca have to practice.
It takes a lot of time, and once you kind of have like a routine, like a 30 or 40-minute show, for me personally, I like to try to add like a 5-minute routine each year. So it takes about a year to make it like a solid routine to add to the show.
Yeah, I think street performing helps a lot. We worked at Faneuil Hall in Boston quite a bit. And so just trying stuff with an audience is totally different than working out some routine in your living room because you're getting constant feedback. So just doing lots and lots of shows, and especially street performing, because people just walk away if they don't like it. So then it tells you immediately whether it's a good routine or not. So that helped us a lot.
Being entertainers throughout the world leads to a busy schedule, but the yo-yo people get to meet different audiences every day, and doing that as a team is what they enjoy the most.
We get a lot of people coming up and being like, I couldn't work with my wife. I don't know how you do it.
It almost feels like projection on us. It's like, oh, how do you work with him all the time? My husband drives me crazy. But we love it.
Yeah,
and
we really like it.
now that we have 2 kids, we actually I'm kind of home with the kids more, so we actually miss performing together as much as we used to. So we love performing together.
Just being able to travel and meet other people from different countries, I think.
And it's cool. We have a job that we can work together, and we have 2 boys, and so they, when they're not in school, come with us. And so it's just fun to be able to travel as a family, and we can bring our kids to work, and it's okay.
The yo-yo people are very busy entertainers, so having them perform in Burlington was a special treat.
We got hired through Hamilton Library, and then she contacted a bunch of other libraries, so we are doing 5 libraries this week.
Yes, library tour, February vacation.
Yeah.
John and Rebecca have been doing numerous amounts of yo-yo tricks throughout their career. With so many, which one would be their favorite?
I like Shoot for the Moon, the one where I lie down. It's kind of neat.
I like Boingy Boingy. I like the name of it and the trick. It's sort of the yo-yo bounces back and forth on the string. That's my favorite.
The yo-yo people would like to personally thank the Burlington Public Library for letting them perform their show.
Just appreciate the audiences coming out today.
Yeah, we had a great time, and thanks, Burlington.
Yeah.
From the Burlington Public Library, I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Weekly.
Enjoy a nice meal and help support a great tradition at the Burlington Senior Center. The Council on Aging will be not your average Joe's cause of the month in March. Eat at the restaurant on any Tuesday during that month and mention the Senior Center, and 15% of your bill, whether you dine in or take out, will be donated to the COA. Council on Aging Director Marge McDonald said the funds will go to help reduce the price for seniors for the annual senior prom that will be held in the spring. During the event, Burlington seniors donned their finest clothes and danced the night away. McDonald said it's a great social event and a fun way to get the seniors out in a nice setting. It's also a chance for some members of the greatest generation to experience what they missed when they were in high school. McDonald said many seniors enlisted in the Army and did not get a chance to go to their proms in high school. BCAT's volunteer-run show, Something to Talk About, hit a big milestone this week, airing its 100th episode. BNews Director Rich Hosford has a look at the program and how it came about.
Hi, Hi, and welcome to Something to Talk About. I'm Linda McNamee, and for the next hour, I'm going to learn about childhood anxiety. I know it's a really tough and very difficult conversation, and it's not real cheerful, but I think it's really necessary. Hi, and welcome to Something to Talk About. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. Hi, and welcome to Something to Talk About. I'm Linda McNamee, and for the next hour, we are going to be talking about the court system and how it can help.
A popular BCAT television program run by volunteers just hit a big milestone. Something to Talk About, a live call-in show hosted by Linda McNamee, is airing its 100th episode this week. We spoke to the talk show host about how she got started on the program.
I started volunteering for BCAT shortly after I moved to Burlington, and the production coordinator at the time told me that there was a live community interest talk show that needed a director. So I started directing and had the time carved out in my schedule. After about 9 years, the host and producer, Arlene Duraco, who used to do Open for Discussion, how soon I forget, sorry Arlene, she decided that she didn't want to do it anymore, and she said, well, you have the time carved out in your schedule already, why don't you just take over? So I took over, and I figured, well, what's the worst that can happen is they'll cancel my show after 6 months. And here I am 100 episodes later.
The subjects of Something to Talk About vary wildly. Some weeks, Linda talks to guests about topics around town. On some, she has lighthearted discussions, such as the 100th show on wood carving. And on others, she tackles serious issues, such as childhood anxiety, coping with loss, or medical issues. Linda said she feels the flexibility with topics is one of the show's great strengths.
All 100. It's been very interesting. But it's kind of nice because the title is just so broad that you can really talk about anything. So, we've had some very serious subjects like, child abuse and Syrian refugees, but we've also had a lot of fun things like talking about animal rescue and tonight's 100th episode of, wood carving and artistry. It's just, and everything in between. So it's been helpful for me. I can answer more questions on Jeopardy now. And it's a great networking opportunity, and I'm learning more about my community and learning about all the valuable resources that are available.
The show would not be possible without the diligent volunteers who come in and help with the taping and work the control room. One such volunteer is Jolie Atwood, a member of BCAT's middle school program, Video Voyagers. She said there is a lot to get done to get the program on the air.
Yeah, so mic checks is a big thing, and making sure to pay attention to what you're doing.
There's also a big difference when doing a live show as opposed to one that is pre-taped.
You definitely have to pay attention more because you have to know when you have to do things and stuff like that. And you feel more in charge, more important.
Colleen Moore, who has been with the show from the beginning, often takes the director's seat. She explains how she got involved.
I actually kind of overheard that she was taking over the show for somebody else that was retiring. And I said, man, I'd really like to, kind of do directing. And I've worked with Linda on other shows as a camera person, and I'd listened to her direct an awful lot myself. So I said, I think I want to do what she's doing.
Finally, the goal of the show is to help Burlington residents learn about the community and a broad range of topics.
I think it's a good opportunity for people to learn about their community because whatever happens to be on the show directly impacts or directly affects people who live in the Burlington area. So it's a great way of learning more about your community.
And for anyone who hasn't seen Something to Talk About, here's a bit of advice from Jolie.
You should watch it. It's a great show.
Thanks, Jolie, and congratulations to Linda and the entire crew. We wish you the best on your next 100 episodes. From our BCAT studios, I'm BNEWS Director Rich Hosford.
Scammers are using the practice of creating fake news sites to rip people off. The Federal Trade Commission says it has found a number of shady companies selling brain booster pills using fake endorsements from public figures. According to the FTC, scammers build spoofed websites that look like news sites that people know and trust. The sites are real news sites, and the endorsements featured on the sites, often from figures like Stephen Hawking, Anderson Cooper, and others, are fake. Representatives from Hawking and Cooper have confirmed that neither has endorsed any brain booster product. The spoofed news sites link you to the sales page for the product, which allows you to place an order with a credit or debit card. The FTC says in this warning, the scammers may claim that the pills are proven to work, that you'll experience an increase in concentration and memory recall by a large percentage, but they lack evidence to support these claims. If you've already paid money to a scammer with a credit or debit card, you may still be able to get your money back. You should call the card company immediately using the phone number found on your monthly statement and see if you can get your money back or cancel the transaction, dispute the transaction. You should also ask if you should get a new card with a new number to prevent more fraudulent charges. We've had glorious weather the last 2 days, but will that continue? We go now to BNews weatherman Peter Brown for the latest forecast. We'll also check out the community calendar with Ian Casciola to see what's happening in Burlington.
Well, hello everyone. This is Peter Brown with a look at your weather for the next 7 days. And I've got to say, we have certainly had a nice spring-like couple of days here the past few days in February. And that, of course, coming after we had quite a taste of winter there for about 10 days. But starting out our next period, look at this. We're already getting to the end of February. Can you believe that? But starting out on Friday, we're going to see beautiful temperatures again. Temperatures in the low to mid 50s here in the Burlington area. So we're actually not too far away from that record high, and we actually got very close to it this past Thursday, if you remember. We saw temperatures climbing up near 70, so that's definitely a sure sign that spring is really not too far away. And as you see here, as we get to the end of the period, we're getting into March 2nd, and this is a good thing to note. March 1st is actually the first day of what we call meteorological spring. So that's basically when the weather starts to transition into a much more spring-like pattern. We know that there can be a little bit, rough roads sometimes in March, but hopefully not this time. But of course, the biggest thing that you notice is look at how long the days are getting. We are definitely getting close to the vernal equinox again, which means soon the daytime will be longer than the night. So that's great news, that's for sure. As we look ahead, I'm going to show you a little bit about what's going to be going on with the weather for the next 7 days. And what we're going to see here going into Friday and then into Saturday and maybe a little bit of Sunday as well, we're going to see actually a fairly strong system. But as you notice here, it's going to be way up in southeastern Canada. That means we're going to have warm air flooding once again into the Burlington area, and in fact, all of southern New England, way down into the south. We're going to probably see temperatures again in the 60s, maybe even the mid-60s as we get into Saturday, with the chance of even maybe a couple of thunderstorms as we head into Sunday morning. Now, looking at the end of the period, you see this other little system coming in. I know this sounds a little bit, maybe a little bit depressing to say, but we could see a little bit of wintry weather actually coming into the mix when we get to the end of the period. Nothing really too serious, but just bear that in mind as we head into the first few days of March. As we go ahead, I'm going to show you a little bit about the outlook for the temperatures for the next 7 to 10 days that the National Weather Service is showing us. And of course, here in the Burlington area, all the way down to the south and out almost to the southwest, we are pretty much going to be in very much above average temperatures here in the eastern two-thirds of the United States. If you can notice here, if you're heading down on vacation down to Florida at all, you're probably going to see temperatures edging up towards the 90s. So summer warmth is down here in the south, and we're going to get some of that spring-like warmth up in our area. As we move ahead, you're going to see our 7-day forecast. We're going to have some really nice conditions up until just about the end of the week. Again, look at this on Saturday. Again, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, chance of some spotty showers here and there. Again, maybe a thunderstorm Sunday morning early before a cold front comes through and drops our temperatures down significantly. But look at this. Temperatures in the mid-50s, probably maybe even up to the low 60s on Saturday with the current thinking right now. As we head into the beginning of the week, we see temperatures cooling down quite a bit, but just down to seasonable levels. And as we get towards Tuesday, look at this. And back to Wednesday, temperatures up near 50 again. And of course, as we look into the end of the period on Thursday, we see that chance of maybe a little bit of light snow coming in, mixed with some rain coming in Thursday with temperatures in the 30s. Again, that's nothing new for March, but definitely something to bear in mind as we get towards the end of the period. Nothing serious, just some, average early March snow. So folks, get out there and enjoy this great early spring-like weather we have, and have a great week.
I'm Marnie Smith from the Burlington Public Library. Today I'd like to take you on a tour of our e-library. Burlington's e-library is filled with e-books, audiobooks, music, and films that are available for streaming or downloading to your computer or mobile device. The eLibrary is conveniently open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The link to eLibrary is located on the front page of our website at www.burlingtonpubliclibrary.org. Our newest offering, Hoopla, is being showcased right now. With Hoopla, one can stream and download movies, audiobooks, TV shows, albums, ebooks, and comics. Over 300,000 items are available in Hoopla. All the resources in eLibrary are available for free with a Burlington Public Library card.
Hello, and welcome to your community calendar. Parents, do your children like Dr. Seuss? On Thursday, March 2nd from 3:45 to 4:45 p.m., the Burlington Public Library is having a Dr. Seuss story time in honor of his birthday, which is on that day. There will be games, activities, and stories. Everyone is welcomed, and the event is free. For more info, visit burlington.org or call 781-270-1690. Do you have what it takes to win it all? On March 22nd from 6 to 8 p.m., the Burlington Recreation Department is continuing its celebration for their 50th anniversary by having a family game show night at the Grandview Farm. The game show is based off the NBC's game show, Minute to Win It. Everyone is welcomed. For families who would like to participate in the game show, pre-registration is required, and it begins on March 1st. For more info, visit burlington.org or call 781-270-1695. Have you ever wanted to take a trip to New York to watch the Bruins? There will be reserved seating as you get to root the Bruins on to a victory. Everyone is welcomed and pre-registration is required. The cost per person is $159. For more info and to register, visit burlington.org or call 781-270-1695. This has been your community calendar. I'm Ian Casciola. Back to you in the studio.
The regular winter sports season is wrapping up and teams are vying for playoff positions. We go now to BNEWS sports reporter Matt DiMarzio for the latest sports report to see how the Red Devils are faring.
Hey everyone, this is Matt DiMarzio here with your weekly sports report. It's a fun time of year for high school sports teams. Over the next few days, squads that qualify for their respective state tournaments will learn their marching orders. At Burlington High, 3 Red Devils teams have qualified for the state playoffs. The boys basketball team won its last 3 games to finish 10-10 overall and qualify. Under new coach Phil Connors, the Red Devils beat Wakefield, Wilmington, and Drake to close out the season. In Wakefield win, senior Mike DiMartinez put his name in the BHS record books when he scored his 1,000th career point and led his team to a 68-65 upset win over the Warriors. Burlington will find out Friday who will play and are likely to draw a tough assignment in the opening round. Both BHS hockey teams won the Middlesex League Freedom Division Championship and will find out their state tournament opponents on Saturday. The boys are not likely to be in the mix for the Division 1A Super 8 tournament, but will still likely be a force to be reckoned with in the Division 1 North playoffs. The track and wrestling teams are currently in the postseason as well. For track, senior Fernando Lamine had quite a performance at the Division 4 state finals, winning the 55-meter hurdles and finishing second in the high jump. Senior Eddie Reese also had a big day, finishing 4th in the high jump and 6th in the hurdles. Lamine was on a 4x400 relay team that also finished second. Leading the girls was Julia Hovas with an 8th place finish in the 1,000-meter run. In the Division II state wrestling tournament, Josh Lee was a champion at 132 pounds, his 3rd Division II title in 3 years. Lee is Burlington's 6th 3-time state champ and the first to ever accomplish the feat as a junior. And that's all for sports. I'm Matt DiMarzio, and back to you guys in the studio.
Another week, another photo to highlight. This week's photo shows just how nice the weather changes over a short period of time. The photo was of Emily, who thought it was a great idea to read outside at the town common during a beautiful spring tease in the month of February. Thanks for the photo, Emily. Let's hope this nice spring weather sticks around a bit longer. We'd like to see your photos. They could be of anything. Could be of something you see around town, the weather outside your own door, or even photos of family members and pets. Whatever you think is interesting and would like to share, we'd like to see. Email your photos to bcat@bcattv.org with the subject line Photo of the Week. That's it from the news desk here at BNews Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher, along with BNews Director Rich Hosford, BNews reporters Robert Paris, Chris Flaherty, Matt DiMarzio with sports, Peter Brown with weather, and Ian Casciola with the Community Bulletin Board. Thank you for joining us.